Operating Systems Lab 5 is about building a sound player in C. Now, the way this lab works is you're given a basic sound player that starts out and is able to play audio files. These audio files are recorded in a 16-bit signed format referred to as pulse code modulation. That is a very standard format used for CDs and other types of devices. And what happens is we're able to play them back at the appropriate frequency based upon how the program is set up. So what I'd like to do is demonstrate running the program. So to run the program, we start by typing in the C sound player and the device we would like to talk to, which in our case is going to be plug hardware 0, the 0th audio device in our system. And what I'm going to do is play test.raw, the file that I have for testing purposes. So what will happen is the audio file will start playing, and you can hear it in the background right now. Now, that audio player that's playing is playing based on the code that we have provided here in this set of files here. You are being given this audio interface.cnh, which you are not going to have to make any changes in for your lab, and this main playback is given to you. The main playback gives you some of the ideas and concepts that you're going to need to make this work. So for example, I can pipe this out here to more, and we can see that the sampling rate is set at 11 kilohertz. Number of channels is 2, buffer size is 2048, some of those things. The version of code that I just demonstrated to you is a single processed multimedia or single processed audio player. What we'd like you to do is to build a multi-processed version of this. So we're going to take the single process and split it up, as well as adding a little bit of new features to this. So we start by having a process over here that's going to do reading of the file. This will read the binary file in and essentially pipe it to a second process over here. This second process will apply a gain adjustment to it. So the gain adjustment, we pass in a parameter of 0, which means there's no gain adjustment. 1, which would double the volume by essentially multiplying by 2. A value of 2 would increase the volume by, or multiply by 4. 3 would increase by 8. -1 would cut the volume in half, making it quieter. So that second process then sends it up into the system. That second process also detects clipping. Now, when you increase the gain of a signal too large for us to be able, or too large for the media to handle within the numbers of samples that you have in the sampling range, basically what ends up happening is the values get clipped at a positive or negative value. That adds distortion into the audio. We want our system to be able to tell you that the audio gain that is being applied is actually distorting the signal. That's another feature we want to add into this system. So let's take a look at it working. So what I have here is the multi-process version of it. And what I'm going to do is play the same demonstration file that we had here before. So if I pass in 0, we're going to see that there's no change. Now you'll notice that it's also printing out to the console here how many bytes have been read in. That's something that's going on from this first process over here as it reads the file in. Now if I apply a gain adjustment to it, I'm going to put a gain adjustment of 3. What we may hear with it is some distortion. You'll see that it's both distorted sounding, and it's telling us by printing out that there is clipping on the console. If I cut the volume down, pass in -2, what you should notice in the background here is that this audio is very quiet and it doesn't distort at all. So that is a demonstration of the program that you are going to be building. If we look at the source code files here, do this, we can see that the audio interface files are unchanged. You have now an audio player, you have a file reader process, and those basically are your new files that are added as you split things apart. Main playback contains the glue that forks off these two child processes. So with that, I'm going to bring this demonstration of lab to a conclusion.